Hello there. This is a love and relationship reading for who are we reading for, Spirit? Please and thank you. Okay, so this is especially could have been a past issue or something that's continued from the past, but it's the energy of the Seven of Swords. So this is things that are concealed. This can talk about trust. This can talk about hiding, lying and manipulating on the worst side, also just hiding from the self on the more tender side of things, but all in one. It's the idea of things not being clear, especially with communication and with our perceptions, with the way that we view things, or that another, the way that somebody else is creating something. For somebody, this could be like, for example, about your sexuality, or something about what you prefer or are actually looking for in somebody or in yourself, but are not able to admit. And then on the other side of the spectrum, this could be a partner or somebody you've been dealing with that hasn't really been true, or that you could even be suspicious that somebody hasn't been true because of what has happened in the past. Okay, there's many different things that the Seven of Swords can represent. Let's go ahead and enhance on who this is for, please and thank you. I see a focus on the heart. Also on the, this looks like the butt to me. Somebody could have a preference towards, like they could just admire something about this. Or, different things. We have the Hierophant here. So this is really beautiful. The Hierophant has come out in a lot of things here. So for who this is resonating with already, you could have felt like, or you could be feeling like there's more clarity coming in when it comes to your communication, to your truths, to your clarity. If you don't feel this yet, this could indicate that this wants to come in, and it's like maybe you kind of feel that it wants to come in, but it's not totally here yet, or maybe comfortable for you to let this truth or this communication totally in, to break through certain limitations. But this is a gift of information. This is an upgrade kind of energy with the Hierophant here. I see union, connection, and I also see a younger fire energy here. That could be a bit, they're searching. They could be a bit messy sometimes in the way they search, or not well thought out. They could have a bit of a temperament, or be even annoying or frustrating at times. Or they just could be a younger energy that's very passionate, somebody that leads with their passion or their lust even more than the mental. It doesn't have to be read this way. But these are some points about this reading that are showing up here. So let's just see if there's anything else. I actually feel like to continue to establish who this reading is for, we will grab one of the Nicoletta Cecily cards. Please remember to only take what resonates, you guys. If something is negative or confusing for you, please reject it. It's not your message if it's really like confusing or creates negativity, okay? Everything that's for you should be empowering or resonant in some way or another. Okay. We do set intention for truth here in this reading space, for high vibrations, and for this reading to benefit all involved. So can we enhance on who this reading is for today? Thank you. Okay. There could be a bit of an energy of slowing down, not wanting to rush in, somebody not wanting to make an offer, or it could feel like growth has been stunted, growth has been halted, stopped on something. Some of you could be afraid to grow because it could mean change or something, and there could be a little bit of fear around this, okay? Afraid to walk away from something, perhaps afraid to change. There's a little bit of a nervousness about releasing the self from something, okay? I feel here like I'm going to keep shuffling because that was a lot of cards that came through, but if I take those into consideration, there's definitely a concept around wanting to kind of not see something fully, or afraid to be hurt, afraid of something repeating in the past, maybe not fully wanting to go back into the past energy, or just go into some kind of an energy that reveals any kind of facade or illusion or brings up the truth, because sometimes the truth is scary and painful and all of those things. Here we have the Seven of Swords again. So yeah, this reading, essentially, it is for you as the Seven of Swords, or you dealing with the Seven of Swords, or both. This can be both. There is something hidden here. There is something that is unclear. There is something that could be a bit deceptive or deceitful. But it's something that could live within your own mind, and it could not be intended this way. It could also be that it lives within somebody else, but at the core, it's probably not intended this way. It doesn't mean if it's not intended this way that it's good to stay with something like this. Not exactly. Usually these kinds of things, if you're somebody that values honesty in a dynamic or clarity, it's probably not the best idea to stay in something that makes you feel unsafe, right? Unless you're able to work on this with somebody. I really appreciate that the Hierophant is in your reading right away, because this is hopeful, okay? This is an energy of hope, because it's something that's coming in that does give that clarity. It is an offering, okay? It is an offering to you that you can choose to receive or deny, but I think you will choose to receive this. This is something that is real and true communication. For some of you, it's personal truths that help you see another's truth, Sometimes we can only see as far in as we meet ourselves, or like, let's say we reject something in ourselves, so then when somebody else displays something that threatens that or is around that, we reject their display and are afraid of it. But when we start to accept that or come to terms more with something in ourselves, it's easier for us to at least try to accept somebody else's truth. In other cases, it's not like this at all. Somebody just simply, isn't sharing. So interesting that this is around. Let's go ahead and get a Romance Angels card here about this situation. Please and thank you. Romance Angels, anything to say about this relationship, love dynamic? Okay, this is really hopeful, positive, and optimistic. I love this. This lifts the vibration up quite a bit. So I also want to point out that this came out on the right. So this is both the masculine energy that output the, the giving side, and it's also a future type thing. So give your relationship a chance. We've also got this masculine energy we were talking about earlier, facing towards the future, trying to lead, through something with passion here. And we're in life to have a human experience. There's no perfect way to do it. So I don't know why I just thought of live, love, laugh. But it's important to do that sometimes, Can you laugh? Can you find laughter? Can you find that joy within something, again, within yourself, again, because this is really valuable in life. So yeah, give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. It either resonates or it doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, that can be a nice indication for you of where you're heading in your own emotions, or maybe where you're already at with something. But if it kind of gives you a little spark or a little hope, then, this is where we're at right now. We're wanting to work on something, maybe to see something through. Maybe somebody else wants to work on this with you. Anything else to say? Romance Angels, please and thank you. Make sure you guys get enough rest, okay? Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay, thank you. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on the clearly decide part, what you want. I would say try to focus on what it is that you want. Maybe with somebody or with yourself, you've started to understand what you don't want, and you can get into the habit of like, I don't want this, and this is not working, it's not going. But so what would work for you? Like, can you get an idea of what it would be? For example, maybe you really want to feel safe with somebody and you really want to feel like you can trust them. And maybe you don't know exactly how that looks, but you just know that that's what you want. Well, when you set that intention and you decide that, it's like you can very quickly manifest that. And it may come in the form of a personal truth first that allows you to open up to somebody else's, or, just it can unfold many different ways. But the intention itself for something that you desire to have in a relationship, for just, or what you want even outside of a relationship, this can be really, I don't know why I'm starting to say really enlightening. I don't know why or how that fits, but that's what's coming through. So let me just make sure there's not one more card here. This can also be about, do you really feel like you want to stay with somebody? It truly, like, do you want to make it work with somebody? That's also part of the decision. Maybe even making, I know this is kind of like reducing something sometimes, but sometimes like making a list of pros and cons can be really effective, like just for yourself. Like what do I love about this? What am I gaining from this? Like, what are the positives, and what are the harder parts about this, or what has really been challenging, and really giving attention to both and importance to both, and not overlooking the importance of that. So yeah, with this this live, love, laugh, love message, we have playfulness. So to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Yes, laughter is not underrated. Playfulness is, it's a really important thing to try to bring back in. This can be as much as maybe you take some time away from somebody, or you move apart a bit, and then you do something together. Maybe it's been a while since you've done something fresh together. Something that invokes a sense of adventure or curiosity, or fun, something fun in a way. So yeah. Okay, let's keep going. So what other messages do we have for the energy here? Please and thank you. Excuse me. All right. Messages, Spirit, please and thank you. Any other messages for this energy, this relationship dynamic? Anything that you want to enhance on about the Seven of Swords, what it could be? Okay, this is the Lovers. It's a really beautiful energy here. A very matched couple. Both have fears, both have hurts, both have their things, yeah. But both also fit very well together, okay? This is definitely, if you're in something now and you're here and resonating, no matter what, in a way, it's definitely meant to be in your path, This is very much an energy of creation. What do you want to create together, but also in your own? How do you want to create your universe? This is tapping into your own power. This is, again, the constant reminder of the importance of meditation. This is such a big thing, and you can find your own way to do this. But it's definitely a feeling of tapping into more of your personal power, your personal journeys. For some of you, this could have been a kind of a past life thing. This connection now, it could feel familiar. For others, it's like it's really giving you a bigger picture view on things. You're seeing how everything is connected. There could even be an energy of like a love triangle in your own psyche, or trying to understand how three parts fit together in something. Definitely a connection to wisdom, ancient wisdom, in this pyramid formation here. I feel like there's a lot of like light codes or sacred geometry type things that can also assist to raise the vibration of something here. Okay, anything else to say about this relationship? What is hiding? Also, the Seven of Swords energy, like some of this, like, okay, so some of what is hidden, whether it's you, them, or both, it is like this feeling of you can gain clarity through meditating, through tapping into your own past lives or power or self or being, to your knowledge that your soul holds, that your DNA holds, the ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, the eternal wisdom and knowledge, you know. This is all of these, the pyramids, ancient Egypt, the sacred geometry, how everything works together. I mean, it is that. There's an illumination here. And this is also how you can receive some of this that wants to come through. If you have animals, watch how they behave too. Like, you know, it's really always interesting when your animal acts a certain way around somebody. You're familiar. And just a little note, side note for somebody. And also, there is a truth that really needs to be communicated, but somebody may not know how. They may not feel like they have the clarity to do it. They may feel weak to do it. It may feel like it's muddy or like it's just unclear or like they get stopped somehow. And through a certain process, it's like we can actually start to unveil these things that are hiding and really work to try to build some kind of trust. And even if you don't succeed, you still are going to learn different things and acquire different tools within this process. And you don't have to, you know, rip yourself away from something that you still have hope about. All right. Anything else, Spirit? Please and thank you. Anything else about this relationship? Honestly, these readings are so helpful. Like sometimes Spirit gives messages through that are helpful to my own thoughts too, and I really love that. I'm like, whoa, I never really saw it that way. I love that. Okay. Again, you have access to all information, you know. You have access to source consciousness always. You have access to the Akasha, to the Akashic records. It's a lot about accepting and walking through that doorway, okay? It's a lot about, there's a very full circle energy here that wants to come through. Something that does want to complete itself. There is illumination available at the end of something for you here. Not the end, but more like the end of this phase of something. I heard a quote today that sticks out right now, and it is like, sometimes we give up too soon on things. You know, again, take it where it resonates. But if you really like love somebody and you really feel something strong, there is a reason for that. It may not be the reason you think always, but there's something here that is definitely to be gained. There is a very strong feeling of, union, full circle. Creation, manifestation. And there is an energy of manifestation as well that's really relevant in this reading. Even with the very soon and with this, it's like a feeling that we can really create the reality moving forwards very strongly. So it's also like, what supports that vibration? Can you get yourself into a high vibration where you feel empowered to create something that you would prefer to create in a way? Or is something, you know, not supporting that for you? For some of you, I feel like your energy could be a bit guarded sometimes. From somebody, you could withhold. This is not going to be for everyone, but you could withhold your energy a little. And somebody reaches out to touch you and connect maybe more. And this is like a trauma or a sadness or a block or a protection, but it's like your soul, or even a literal animal, your soul animal, is more true in how it actually feels. For some of you, you could be a bit more, you could be further along in like the way, your wisdom in some ways, than this person, but their soul carries it, and you feel that, you know, and it's like they're coming into that more and more, and in a way, you know, you're each other's teacher. This could also, for some of you, be an opposite, somebody who's quite opposite than you in some ways, but you really, attract. I'm really looking and playing on this cat and dog here, it's very interesting. We also have so many major arcanas out that it really does indicate that this is a time of major, they say rapid evolution and growth for you. This is in your life in general, but especially connected to this relationship. So it's good when we are in, it's good any time, good, bad, however you look at it, but in these relationships when they are growing us and we're not so much stagnating in them and even getting too comfortable with things, because sometimes comfort can make us stagnant. It's an interesting balance between being in something healthy and respectable and also like growing and learning and being a bit uncomfortable sometimes and going, compromising with somebody and meeting each other halfway. That's tricky. And never really compromising where somebody else isn't. I mean, do your thing, but this doesn't resonate so much. More like both meeting each other in a place that you build together in a way. Okay, so yeah, I still see a little bit of this distance. There's still a lot of passion here. There's a desire to move towards each other. There could have been some differences, emotional barriers. There could have been a rejection of certain passion, but also a very strong passion. Passion could also, you could worry that it's clouded the judgment or clouded the what's your clarity. There's also a feeling of moving towards someone and then not moving towards them, like wanting to, but then not wanting to, being, not, it's like a sureness versus an unsureness. I feel like you both have help spiritually on each side. You could doubt like what you have to offer. They could doubt what they have to offer. So I do feel some self-doubt coming into play here. Both of you are passionate about each other. As I see it, okay? I see both of you you may be opposites, but you're very matched in many ways too. You could share a passion, really. There could be a passion that you share. You could also share pains. You could share certain hurts, even if they look different ways in your life. They could kind of manifest in a similar way in both of you, but it doesn't mean that they look the same way, like the person would express it the same way you would, but they may carry it from a similar source or a similar energy. I also see a lot of angel energy here, spirits. They could be like, if you both are kind of intuitive or psychic, there could be this kind of connection here going on. Somebody here is like 40s, 42, 43. Okay, somebody else here, teenager, 17, 18, somewhere in there, 16, 19, and then we've got all different ages in between. But I feel that this is like, how do I put this, a more progressive connection no matter what age you are, than some, okay? I wish that it comes out when it's supposed to, but right in the beginning of this reading, because I really feel that this relationship is more progressive than the standard, relationship of the last 50 years. It's a bit different in a positive way. It's a bit more of that, millennialistic vibe, but even more progressive than that, and even for those of you who are older than that, I don't know how to word that. It's even younger. It's even, I don't want to say younger as in time. I don't know how to word that. Let's just stick with progressive, okay? It's progressive. It's different. It's not the standard thing. It even can be like, there's these movies where there's like a really weird couple, like they're really both super artsy and awesome and cool and weird and like just quirky, and like they totally fit together, Even it could be like a really like liberal version of like Tim Burton and his wife, like Helen, but not like, or like this coffee place couple that's like really open, and it's like, it's really fluid, like there's not a lot of, and it's like we're navigating a whole new system of relationship in some ways, Like we're navigating a lot. Like, you know, it's like the be kind to yourself, both of you, because for who this, you know, this message is for, like we're going through reformatting the entire system in a lot of ways inside of ourselves, our beliefs in this world. And then also how relationships work. You know, we've kind of, many have grown up in the concept of like, you know, man, woman, that's it, monogamous, you know, one marriage, kids, like this is how it looks, this is the divorce rate, like, you know, just a very like, and I'm not saying everybody, I know it's different, different religions and cultures, but it's like this kind of standard concepts that get put into us no matter how they look, you know. And this is like not a standard thing. This is like a more free, a thing that wants to experience evolution. So there's a lot to navigate within that, a lot of programming as well that wants to, like, you know, change. That's really tricky to change. And it can be painful in a way to change that programming or to work on it. But if you have somebody, like if you're willing to be open with yourself and with somebody else, and they're willing to be open with themselves and with you for whatever that means for you guys, if they're willing to meet you, you know, and you're willing to receive them and they're willing to receive you, and you're willing to share and they're willing to share, like, you know, you really, if you really can meet each other with what you need, and you're willing to talk about these things, or to just address what needs to be addressed, I mean, it can really happen, you know, it can really happen in a really positive way. All right. Any other messages about this relationship, please and thank you, this relationship dynamic? Any advices? Or messages, please and thank you. And don't worry, we've got 2 other candles burning. That little one was going to go out anyways. I lit it on a whim, so don't read too much into it, okay? If you were. Wow, this is like so much major. Yeah, so there's big perspective changes. There's disagreements as well with the way that you guys view things, you know. It's different for both, but there's big changes here. There's big full circles energies. There's an opportunity to gain more perspective. And if you want, there's an opportunity for both of you to step inside each other's perspective. And sometimes we have to give that to get that. You know, sometimes we really genuinely have to see somebody else's side and let them know we see that side, for them to also be confident enough or motivated enough to see ours, you know. But we're also talking about a relationship that is striving to be healthy or mature in its own right in some way or another. Not one that is just straight up like lying and cheating and being destructive and toxic. That's not the kind of relationship I feel we've got on the table. Even the 7 of Swords energy, it's kind of a triggering energy, but I don't feel it's pointing to like the worst of the worst. I feel like it's pointing to maybe different ideals, but personal things that you have to find with somebody. You know, it's not something somebody should really tell you like in a reading. It's something that really needs to be found within you and somebody else. And if you don't want to, maybe that's a sign or an indicator that it's more than it's worth, you know, that it's too much and it's time to move forwards. But either way, I feel that your perspectives are not always in agreement, but they are super similar in their own ways. It's an interesting thing. They're different but the same, you know. It's not as scary as it may seem, and there's a real opportunity to grow with the way that we see something here. So, okay. Any advice, please and thank you. I hear them say loosen up, maybe loosen up on your perspective or even on your goals. It's something about being lighthearted, trying to access having fun again, which can be really hard if we've got a lot of pain that we need to release or heaviness is on our chest. So you may need to have a talk first or to go through something first, you know. But this is kind of saying don't force movement, okay? Don't force your way ahead into something. Even if they're making advice to lighten up and do this, don't force your way forwards. Don't force your way even out of something if it doesn't feel right for you. Definitely a feeling of being afraid of a certain transition or transformation and what it could mean. In the past, this could have been abandoned, or the fear of this could have been left, and there could be, there could be a struggle with knowing something is going to change or transform, even if it's like within the relationship, but also having like a fear about that and what it could indicate, what it could mean. It doesn't always mean the end of something, it could be the end of a pattern within something. Any other advice? Advice, please and thank you. You don't have to force a transformation. You don't have to force an ending. You don't have to force anything, okay? You may have to push yourself to speak a bit. Okay, this is about being bound. This is karma a bit, as I see it now. For some of you, it is kind of remaining somewhere because you have to, is what it may feel for somebody. Why is this advice? Please and thank you. Advice would be like to remain bound in a way. I see also, though, to remain weightless. Okay, because maybe this is a time for you to reveal certain truths with yourself, with this person. Because even if you're bound into something that's challenging or whatnot, it is the opportunity to grow in truth. It is the opportunity to get closure or clarity in yourself or with another or both, okay? So if you were to exit something prematurely, if you were to force something prematurely, perhaps you would never come into learning how to reveal within yourself and another. There's really some skills that are being developed here. And here we also have the Ace of Wands. That is a new beginning, a new passionate beginning. And that is advice here. They say let go and let flow, or let flow and let go and let glow. Let flow and let glow. Let flow the information. Let flow the heart. Let flow what you feel in a loving way. If you can find that in yourself. We know it's not as easy as it sounds in the advice or the messages, but every effort is worth something. Every effort is noted. Every try is it's something. It gets you somewhere, even if you don't feel it. Anything to enhance on the Ace of Wands as advice, please and thank you. Yeah, this is let go. Also, that fits in because it's like letting go of control a bit. I mean, for somebody, it can be letting go of an energy that is controlling or binding, that is a possibility. Taking your passionate new start. But I feel like this reading is more talking about working on something to gain something. You can gain freedom. I mean, control is an illusion ultimately. You don't have to run or leave something to exit control, as an example. You can actually find that if you're kind of got it straight with yourself and things are really illuminated, you can find that freedom, that passion, that spark, that release from a situation that controls you in a way, even emotionally, within it. It's more of a state of mind than a physical location. So whether you're with or together or apart, and you have this strength in you. This is not unusual. Like, it's not the normal really reading I would see. I feel like you really have this strength to do this, to grow. This is part of what you're supposed to grow into in a way. So, and this could really reignite some things for you. So yeah, that's what I have for you. You can always email FrequencyOfTheHeart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. And I wish you the best in your dynamic and whatever you're dealing with. I hope this made a little bit of sense for you. It can be a bit confusing at times. I really do get that. It can feel a bit push-pull, but there's a reason why you're still where you are. And maybe the things that are hidden, in the end, when we face them, they aren't as intense or as scary as we thought they would be. It's not to say some things aren't, but we can always gather another perspective on the things which happen. You know? Okay. You guys, take care. Much love, much gratitude.